Peace to you from the monks of Mount Angel, dear friends. We are celebrating the holy days of Easter together, and the monks want you to be with us in these 50 days of liturgy until Pentecost. And the way I thought to do that with you has been my commenting on the Exultet, that wonderful song that we sing at the Paschal Vigil. And I've been doing that in sections, and I want to continue that today. Last week we spoke about these wonderful phrases that repeated themselves one after the other. This is the night when, this is the night, this is the night. Ultimately the night in which Christ breaks the prison bars of death and rises victorious from the underworld. That's as far as we got last week, so I want you to listen to the next section that I'll comment on today. Just a little clue as you listen to it, the mood or the quality of the poetry shifts at this point, so it was a good place to break off if we're going to break off. And now I would say what you'll hear and what I'll comment on is what we could call a contemplative assessment of the night. What is being effected by God in this night? So listen to it, and then I'll be back.
Our birth would have been no gain had we not been redeemed. Oh, wonder of your humble care for us. O love, O charity beyond all telling, to ransom a slave, you gave away your Son. O truly necessary sin of Adam, destroyed completely by the death of Christ. O happy fault, that earned so great, so glorious a Redeemer. O truly blessed night, worthy alone to know the time and hour when Christ rose from the underworld. This is the night of which it is written, the night shall be as bright as day. Dazzling is the night for me, and full of gladness. The sanctifying power of this night dispels wickedness, washes faults away, restores innocence to the fallen, and joy to mourners, drives out hatred, fosters concord, and brings down the mighty.
A contemplative assessment, I called it, a deep meditation. I remind you, this is theology in poetry and in song and in prayer. But audacious, remarkable things are being said here. The first we heard in this section was, our birth would have been no gain had we not been redeemed. Think about that. In effect, it's saying it'd be better not to even be alive if we don't have life in Christ and the redemption that is given to us on this night. And that's true. Imagine trying to live without this redemption in Christ that is ours. And then the poem exclaims, "O wonder of your humble care for us." Note that we're directly addressing God the Father, to whom this whole song is addressed, but O wonder of your Father, of your humble love for us. O love, O charity beyond all telling, to ransom a slave you gave away your Son. This is saying that well, first of all, the Father gives what is most precious to him from all eternity. The Son, who is God with him, he gives that away to the world, to us, to slaves, in the sense that, there's a big difference between the eternal Son of God and us, mired in sin. And to save us from that, God the Father gives away his only Son. And the Son lets himself be given, and gladly lets himself be given. This is love beyond all telling. There's no charity, there's no love bigger than that. And that's what we're celebrating. And then it says, "O truly necessary sin of Adam, destroyed completely by the death of Christ. O happy fault that earns so glorious a Redeemer." This is crazy. This is over the top. This is saying, it's like saying, it's a good thing Adam sinned, otherwise we wouldn't have had such a bigger redemption. Oh, this was a happy fault. Adam, by his sin, destroys the relationship between God and the human race. And yet, because God's reaction to that has been so big and so generous and so loving, about all we can say is, hey, that was a good thing. Of course it's not a good thing. This poetry only makes sense if you take the measure of how hideous sin really is. It's a no to God that God has to say no to. And yet, his reaction is over the top. Generosity and outpouring of grace. It's like, okay, you guys are going to sin, watch what I do instead. You would sort of think, well, send us to hell. That's what we deserve in a sense. But no, you guys are going to sin, watch what I do instead. I will send you, my Son. Oh, happy fault. And then again, we come back to the theme of the night. Oh, truly blessed night. There it is again. This is, I think, the fifth mention of what's going on in this night. Oh, truly blessed night, worthy alone to know the time and the hour when Christ rose from the underworld. This is why we celebrate this liturgy in the night. To know the time and the hour when Christ rose from the underworld. You see, the actual resurrection of Christ, like his body is lying dead in the tomb, and the tomb is sealed, and then he rises. No one witnesses that. No one can witness that. This is a work done by God within the depths of God somehow. His body is no longer there. He's no longer dead. How that's the case, no one is able to witness it. It happens in the night. And yet, just because it cannot be witnessed or known in that way does not mean it hasn't happened. Indeed, we'll come to know that it happens through the encounters with the risen Lord. But in this night, Christ arose in an hour, in a time, in a way known only to God. This is the night of which it is written, the night shall be as bright as day, dazzling is the light for me and full of gladness. Yeah, that's of which it is written. There's a psalm that says, for the Lord, the night shall be as day. And now this psalm is fulfilled beyond all our imagining in the resurrection of Jesus. It's night. You can't see anything at night. Night is spooky. Not this night. This night is as bright as day, dazzling with joy. The sanctifying power of this night, there it is again, the night. What's going on in this night? You think it's night, you think it's spooky, you think it's dark. The whole world is being changed. The sanctifying power of this night, and then you heard it in the song, 7 things, one after another, that is affected in this night by Christ's resurrection. The power of this night, but get that image, huh? There's something going on. There's a power in the night. The power is Christ's resurrection. And it does a whole bunch of stuff. Renovating stuff. It dispels wickedness. It washes faults away. It restores innocence to the fallen. It restores joy to mourners. It drives out hatred. It fosters concord. It brings down the mighty. Oh, come on. This is what we're here for. Is to celebrate this power. And dear friends, that's the last of the section we're going to play today, and play it back and listen to it again. I hope you have the text and you're looking at it. But let us trust in this announcement of the gospel that the church makes at the Paschal Vigil, that on this night hatred is driven out and concord is fostered. There's joy where there has been mourning. Let us receive this gift of God. This gift of God to ransom us from our slavery. God gave away his only Son. This is love beyond all telling.